I've been quoting that guy for 6 years. At our very first fast art school that we went to, we were in a class with him. It was called District Hell. And so that means if you're a district, you'll know what I'm talking about. But he said, the people that got you here aren't the people that are going to get you where you want to go. So whoever got you to where you're at are not the same people that's going to get you to where you want to go. So you're going to take some other people. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of our story about where we came from. And then Lori's going to tell you a little bit about it and tell you where we're going to go. All right, so we're going to do this pretty quick. We started in Cleveland, Tennessee, but we got to Cleveland, Tennessee by way of Florida from Ohio. So they called us halfbacks. I was born to a family that my dad worked on the railroad. He was also a volunteer fireman, and my mom stayed at home. That's the way it was in the 60s and 70s. And my family's aspirations for me was to get a good job in the factory, because I had a pretty tough time getting through school. The teachers just kept passing me because I was such a pain in the butt, because I'm ADHD, or whatever they call it nowadays. Back then, I was just a pain in the butt. And so when I did get a job right out of high school in a local factory, making car batteries, I was set for life as far as my family was concerned. They were paying me about $50,000 a year. Back in the 80s, that was pretty good living. How many of you know $50,000 a year today is still pretty good living? Mm-hmm. So that means the standard of living in a JOB hasn't really changed a whole lot in 40 years. But everything was going according to plan for my parents because I had a good job. I had benefits. You guys know what those are, right? And I got a vacation every year. And that's what I was going to do for the rest of my life. And then this gorgeous blonde walks into my life. And she's going to tell you a little bit about where she came from and how that was different from my upbringing, but the thinking of the way my family thought and the thinking and the way her family thought and how much it was so different.
Oh, okay. Well, wow, that was too quick. All right, so here's what I want you guys to do. Say, if it's gonna be, it's up to me.
If it's gonna be
up to me.
Or her, like he says. No. All right, so check it out. When we started in 2010, Scott Pinker came to our house, and he sat down and laid out a plan. He showed us that we could help people get out of debt. How many people know someone in debt here right now? Okay? He showed us how to get people to protect their families if somebody died too soon. How many here know somebody who died too soon? Okay? He showed us how to get somebody into some type of a financial investment so that they didn't outlive their money. Who in here knows people that retire broke? Okay, I have a very serious question for you guys. Do you want to be any of those three? Okay, then the only way you're going to get from that side of this stage to this stage is by telling people about what we do. This is not rocket science. Because if these two crazy people can do this, a GED at 32,
love you, Andy.
And myself, I mean, I went to some college, but I didn't finish because I didn't really like college. I didn't like school. Neither of us were very free-loving people, you know? So we like strapped into a, some type of an office setting. But if we can do this, guys, you can do this. What is stopping you? So when we sat there in front of Scott Pinker, who, by the way, knocked on our door, who did not know us, we met him over a credit card transaction. And he called me up for 9 months. So who here has ever called somebody about the presentation or about the business or about anything, and they either A, did not answer their phone, B, hung up on you, or C, ignored you when you got to their door? Anybody here? Okay, so see, we're on a really good path here. Y'all are agreeing to a lot of things that I'm saying. We were those people. Scott, for 9 months, would either call me, come by our house, or invite us to a fast start school, and we would not be there. Literally would not be there. And if he would have given up, what would that have meant for my family? Would Adrian and Rob be in the business? Would Millie be in the business? Right? Would the Volleys be in the business? Would Caratini's be in the business? Would Randy's cousin, our cousin, be in the business? Cynthia and her husband? No. All because he didn't quit. So anybody here in this auditorium have anybody that has quit your team already? Okay, now if you're probably really honest, I'd probably ask you if any of you thought about quitting, you'd raise your hands too. Okay, so you can't quit. The other moral of the story is the only thing that's holding you back from that side of the stage to this side of the stage is if you don't quit. Because if you stay here long enough, you'll figure out that it will work. So when we...
What did your dad do?
Okay, so my dad was a manufacturer of a big travel trailer company. He manufactured hilltop campers, and he employed hundreds of people. So the moral of the story he wants me to tell you is because he was raised in a factory, I was raised around business. And what happened, the difference was, even though he was raised in a factory, he was not taught about money.
Didn't have any.
He was not taught about life insurance. His dad had a whole life, 5 of them, by Prudential, who, by the way, when his dad died, his mom got a lousy $10,000. After paying on them for 64 years, okay? So when his dad died, we weren't in Primerica then, and we thought, something just don't seem right about that. And we found out later, being in Primerica, that it wasn't right, that the industry ripped off my mother and father-in-law. So, but my father, he was kind of wealthy. And because of that, you would think that I would know more about money, but in fact, I knew just as little as he did. So don't assume people know because they have money. Because there are people praying right now that have money, but they don't know what to do with it. And there are people praying right now that don't have money, that want money. So it doesn't really matter which one it is, you got to just go talk.
So the moral of the story was, when we got together, it was a train wreck. It was literally a train wreck. But because she's seen something in me that I couldn't see in myself, do you see something in somebody on your team that they can't see in themselves?
Say it.
So because she's seen something in me that I couldn't see in myself, 9 years later, together, we made almost $1 million cash in another industry.
But the problem with that is we didn't know about money. So we made money and we didn't know what to do with it. It all went through our hands like sand. We had a lot of wonderful houses. We had a yacht. We had 3 Corvettes. We had all those cars that Donnie was talking about. But unfortunately, Donnie, we didn't have a residual income. And so when the mortgage industry plummeted, so did our life and financially. So when we came here and Scott showed us that, man, we were sold out from day one, guys. I didn't say, oh, well, what if, or what, I kind of doubted sometimes, but I didn't think about going back to where I was, because there was no way we were going to make it back where we were.
So when Scott came and showed us this, he showed up in shorts, in white tennis shoes, driving a 1999 Chrysler Town and Country minivan. And he was telling us how wealthy he was. So the following week, he came back to our house, and we had a cookout. He brought Ross Dietrich with him, and the first thing Ross told us was, hey, listen, he's not really as stupid as he acts like he is. He's really a smart guy. You should listen to him. So we did.
We did, and guess what? We had that cookout. I didn't know everything. He didn't know everything. We got up. Scott said, hey, start reading the screen to the 19 guests that came. I had enchiladas. I mean, it wasn't nothing fancy. I hid my dessert. So the moral of the story, go have yourself a cookout and hide the dessert and then show the people the plan, right? And 7 people that night decided they wanted to be a part of what we were doing. Not because Rainey Lord knew everything, not because we were like some millennial hotties, but because we were excited about the fact that we didn't want to be in debt, that we didn't want to die broke, that we didn't want to leave our family devastated. That was all we had in us, guys. And if that's all you take from here today, that's all you need. And then that will transform your life, because 30 days later, we had 30 recruits on our team. 30 recruits. You could start right today in 30 days, have 30 recruits on your team. I'm telling you, you can do it. And then all you do from here is just love on those people and keep showing the people and keep talking about it and keep staying excited. And 6 years later, we are more excited today than we have ever been about building this awesome team. We have the best team on the planet. Game Changers and Team GW, we are going somewhere, I'm telling you.
In our hierarchy, recruiting, we're up 22% in last year. In new life license, we're up 30%. In life team size, we're up 25%. In premium, we're up 25%. And in securities, we're up 51%.
So just, this is what I have to say. Believe in yourself. Get over yourself. Get over yourself. It's not about you.
That's right.
It's about every other guy and gal out there that needs an opportunity.
Yes.
Don't try to sell the product, sell the hope that you have in you for what we do. Not the product. The product will take care of itself. Become a mega recruiter, do it in a short time frame, go RVP in 6 months from the time you decide whether you've been here a day or 100 years, it don't daggum matter. Just make a decision today that you're going to go regional vice president and go do it. All right?
All right.
So it started with a decision, and if you're here, you have a decision. Some of you have already made a decision that you're quitting by the end of the day. And that's okay. Take the information that you've learned here and go be successful somewhere else. But know this, 10 years from now, you're going to think back, what if? What if? See, right now we have $76 million earners in the company. We don't have 76 millionaires. We have 76 people that earn $1 million a year. We have hundreds, if not thousands, of millionaires. And Lori and I, this week, for the very first time, we've been here 6 years. For the very first time, not on our team, but personally, we wrote a life insurance policy for the dearest friend that we ever had. And he passed away a week ago Thursday. 64 years old, 6'4", 235 pounds, looked like Mr. America. You know that most interesting guy in the world on that TV commercial? He wasn't the most interesting guy. The guy I'm telling you about, he was the most interesting man I've ever met in my life. You didn't ever leave having a conversation with him without feeling positively impacted. And we get to take a $500,000 check to his widow. When we went to the wake, his wife, his widow, seen us across the room and sought us out and gave us a big hug and said, "You have no idea the difference that you've made in my future." What we do here is real. If you've only ever written one policy and you quit, that may be the one that makes the difference. But why stop with one when you can have hundreds or thousands and that you can affect tens of thousands of lives? Kip really himself. Kip, are you in the room? Yeah. How many millionaires are under you that earn $1 million a year? 7 or 8, you don't even know. So, Francis Averett, Cheryl Bartlett. He's impacted so many lives. You don't even know some of the lives he's impacted. But when he gets to heaven, he's going to know.
That's right.
Because they don't lose track of nothing up there. All right? So if you've gotten to a point in your business to where you're not sure, then do some of that self-talk that Josh was talking about. Because you're the only one that can motivate you long term. Art Williams said anybody can stay motivated for a short time. Anybody can stay excited for a month or 2 or 3, or a year or 2 or 3. But a winner will stay excited forever. We're excited.
We're excited. I do this last thing, so when you say it again, if it's going to be, it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to me.
Recruit.
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 Recruit. Don't forget it. God bless you guys.